So,
Sitting over there. All right, I sit in the middle of the couch.
all right, cool. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode, number 4,
Four.
fourth episode of the Friday Special Podcast. I'm your host, Friday, aka 1K, aka the Visionary, and today we got the one, the only Miss Paden Sickles,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right, owner of this amazing brand right here. We're gonna get into that a little bit later, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Paden Sickles. I am the owner of SickFit, and basically, I'm that girl when it comes to socks. We're soon to be a leader of the sock industry, so that is what I do.
Leader in the sock industry.
That's right.
We're supporting this brand 1,000%. So make sure you go pick that up. I'll be linking her brand in the bio with her Instagram and all her social media stuff like that. So you guys
Appreciate
can scroll down, click on the link in the bio, stuff like that.
Definitely run it up. Definitely shop.
Yeah,
I would appreciate
straight to the
that.
website. So basically start off. So where are you from?
I am from Louisville, Kentucky, but being in the
Mm-hmm.
military, you move around a lot. But that is where I, born and raised, 502, Jack Harlow, Bryson Tiller,
Okay.
Muhammad Ali, some greats came out of the city.
Okay. So where all have you been?
Army-wise, I have been to nowhere super extravagant. Just, Korea, Hood, which is now Fort Cavazos in Texas, Fort Leonard Wood, and here I am now in Savannah at Fort Stewart.
Okay,
So,
cool. How long you been in?
8 years.
8 years.
It's crazy because it's coming to an end, and
When? When you
I will
get
be officially out of the Army January 27th. And
January 27th.
it's soon, and it's happening
That's
really soon.
right around the
Yes.
corner, man.
Yes, less than 45 days, so
Man,
it's
I know
coming.
you excited.
It's like I'm anxious. And one thing I'll say on that is just, what you often find is people have a negative connotation to transitioning, and they leave like a bad taste for the military.
Oh yeah.
But for me,
definitely.
it's been very rewarding, and I can say that the transition process has been very easy for me, and I found a lot of those programs that kind of help you out of the military. So the network's powerful, and for anybody who has that negative connotation, I challenge you to change your view.
Definitely. I can say in my own experience, when it comes to the military, it really is what you make it.
Definitely.
You know, a lot of things in life are what you make it, but that most definitely, because it's real easy to see it negative. You know, it's real hard to see it positive sometimes, but you can always see it positive. So, grew up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
So how was life growing up for you?
Life growing up for me, this is interesting, and I'm glad you asked because everybody, kind of has a similar story, but my story is kind of very unique. And this is kind of why I kind of fell into entrepreneurship. It's kind of embedded in us, and both my parents are entrepreneurs, and
That's amazing.
what's interesting is, at 11 years old, you're helping your parents run a franchise.
Oh wow.
So you're like, it's amazing to see and amazing to look back on, and I'm very grateful and appreciative of my parents for exposing us to things like that. But just grew up being an athlete. Just went to Catholic school, transitioned from Catholic school to public school in high school. It was a diversity shock for me, and that was another amazing time of my
Okay.
life as well.
You got siblings?
I do. So I have 2 younger brothers and I have an older sister, and they mean everything to me. We're super close, and those are my best friends.
I feel that. So you said that like when y'all were growing up, y'all like were helping with the business. You said
Yeah.
a franchise. What is it?
So my father is actually the only minority in the nation who owns his own business in his field. So he's a land surveyor and architect. And then
okay.
my mother, she has helped run 3 franchises. It's called Fire Fresh Barbecue.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that is kind of a piece of it, and they have property everywhere and things like that.
That's
So-
lit. They still do that, or?
Oh yeah, definitely. He's still the only one in the nation doing his thing.
Man,
Yes.
entrepreneurship. That's crazy. As an aspiring business owner, where did you? So, like, okay, so say like you're in the military, right? You know, and you're doing your thing. Or why'd you join the military?
For me, it
Army, right?
was, yeah, Army.
Okay.
For me, it was really just, I knew that I wanted to make an impact to the world, and how could I do that? Growing up, traveling all the time, you know, you see
Yeah.
especially around that, that time of like right post 9/11 and things like that, you would see everybody in the airport, and you're like, dang, those are heroes, right? And that's, call it cliche or call it, corny, whatever you want, but that was really my reason is I wanted to become that hero and that impact to everybody else. So definitely that's my answer.
Okay. So you're in the military,
hmm
boom. Is like, did you always know that you wanted to like do that, or was it something that you just kind of like stumbled upon?
The military, it was, I kind of stumbled upon it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, as you are exposed to things that
Mm-hmm.
kind of shape you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that, like my family's not military or anything like that. And
Mm-hmm.
people ask me all the time, like, why'd you join the military? Why you join the military? It's just my path and I had a calling.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was my calling at the time. And now I feel like my calling now is the entrepreneurship. And
Absolutely.
continue inspiring and motivating everybody else around me.
Mm.
So.
Such a famous question. Why did you join the military? And for
Definitely.
all the military people out there, if you haven't, you will get asked that question at least
Yes.
a million times
Yes.
before you get out. It's we all want to know why we all did it, because it's a sacrifice, leaving, what you know to go doing something that you don't. So you're always gonna get asked that question. So back to what I was saying.
hmm
So you're in the military, boom, you're working, and you are an engineer,
hmm
right?
Yep.
How you like that?
It's when I was in the reserves, it was a lot better because I
Mhm.
actually did engineer tasks. But
Mhm.
on active duty, it's interesting and it's a different challenge and a different
Mhm.
mindset, a mission set, honestly. But like I kind of previously said, everything shapes you. So you take it, you learn from it, you grow from it,
Mhm.
and you apply it to
Yeah,
whatever you need to.
absolutely. So did you? So okay, boom. Did you know the entire time that you were in, like, I'm doing this because eventually I want to work myself to entrepreneurship?
At the time, it was just kind of continuing to be an asset in the force. I
Mhm.
wanted to be the best leader that I could. And you can ask anybody that I've ever worked with,
Mhm.
not being cocky or anything like
No, no,
that,
no.
but
You
my
bet.
OERs reflect. And,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
I can call anybody that I've ever worked with right now and ask them for a recommendation and they would give it to me. And that's the
Absolutely.
impact
Yeah.
and the power that I want on everybody. But so that was a piece of it. And I constantly had to continue to challenge myself. How could
Mhm.
I be better? That was, getting those certifications and getting my
Mhm.
master's and getting all those little different educational pieces that made me a better leader and made people look up to me so I could tell them to do the same thing.
Mhm.
So things like that. But then that's when things kind of took a turn.
Mhm.
And it was more so there's a problem in this force and I want to fix it.
Mhm.
And that problem was the socks that we continually wear on our feet. You
Mhm.
know, when you're doing those 12-mile ruck marches and you're doing those, you know, when you're out at Fort Drum and it's super cold and you're doing all these things on your feet constantly,
Mhm.
those feet, the socks were not withstanding what we endured. And that was a problem. So
Mhm.
that's when the mission changed from, okay, I'm no longer being challenged here,
Mhm.
but this entrepreneurship realm is very challenging for me because I've never operated in this space by myself. I've seen it, but I haven't been there. And that's when the problem kind of became, hey, how do I fix this?
Okay. I really love that. What you were saying about being a good leader. I actually just left from where I was. I'm going to Germany
Mm-hmm.
next. Here in
That's
like,
amazing. Good for
yeah,
you.
like literally next week I'll be there. And before I left, my name, and for those that don't know, my last name is Friday. A lot of people get that confused because
Pretty
I
dope.
be saying Friday, appreciate it. I'll be saying Friday, and they be like, oh, the day, like, nah, man, that's my name. Um, but my name holds weight, and that's something that I really was
Pride
trying to
yourself in.
instill,
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
in the people around me, because people, they forget they might forget what you did, the things that you did or the things that you said, but they'll never forget, how you made them feel, and they'll never forget the impact that you left. Like,
Powerful.
I'm really big on that impact because it'll stick with people forever, and that's really what I was taking away from what you were saying. Like you really left that impact on those individuals that you were there with. So also, I want to say that the best ideas in the world are birthed out of an issue, a
Absolutely.
problem. So you've seen the issue. What was the next step?
For me, it was product testing the 87 different pair of socks that I've tested.
87 different pair of
87.
socks.
When I
Wow,
tell people that, there's like, there's no way. And I can
that's
show you my bank
crazy.
statements, and I can show you how much money I spent on 87 socks.
Wow.
But definitely, I tried 87 different pair, and it was, continually trying it in different markets and trying it on different people's feet. Like you have a wide foot, possibly. I have a narrow foot. My Achilles hurts when I wear it. Your pinky toe hurts, or my brother has really dry feet, or excuse me, he has really sweaty feet. I don't have sweaty feet. My other brother has dry feet. So it's just trying it in different, atmospheres and different people, and continually being persistent about what you want and what you want to do. Find the root of the problem, find the root, come up with a solution, and test it. Test it, test it, test it. That's what I'll say.
87 pairs of socks.
It's
That's
mind blowing when you
crazy.
think about it, huh?
So how do you do that? Like, do you just call, be like, hey, you just call like a fabric company or something, like, hey, like I need y'all to test out a sock for me. Like,
That's part of it, honestly. Yeah. So it was a lot of Google and YouTube University at first. It was a lot of knowing what's out there, and it's a prime example. Everyone's like, "Oh, I wear cotton socks." So do I. But you're like, your cotton socks don't feel like my cotton socks.
Yeah.
Or they're like, it's still cotton. No, you're right, it is cotton, but there's different grades of cotton. So there's
didn't
things
know
like that. So yeah, it's just a learning curve and just being
I definitely
really
didn't know that. So, all right, boom, we got the socks. All right, now, and you, I'm guessing like you tried on every pair of socks, like all
definitely.
87.
This was probably about a 6 to 7 month process.
Or
Yeah.
you just
Testing
all right,
socks, washing them,
ordering
washing
socks,
them, washing them.
washing them over and over
Yeah,
again.
that's it. Washing them, trying them, washing them, trying them.
But what were you? So like through that process, is there like something you were looking for to like fill the gap, as far as like okay, with these socks, I noticed after this many washes, a hole went in it or something like
Yep.
that. Is
Yep.
there something like specific that you were looking for, or is it just?
Absolutely. So there was a multitude of things I was looking for, and it was, how many washes can that sock withstand? What was the color? What did the color look like after you washed it? How long was that color lasting in the sock? Things like that yarn on the bottom, or the way it's knitted, is how thin is it getting after a couple washes and after wear? Just very meticulous and very cognizant and persistent about what I wanted, and just kind of paying attention to those small details and taking notes. I have a notebook. What's funny is I have a notebook at the house that I look back on, and I hold it near and dear to my heart, because that's kind of the bread and butter of the company. And I was in Italy at the time,
That's lit.
and I was sitting there on my vacation, and I wrote down everything that I wanted to accomplish in the company. This was last year.
That's amazing.
So last year, I told myself I wanted to complete everything in that book within a year, and I surpassed that in 3 months.
Man.
And that is when I knew that I was doing something, and I made impact. So, it's just being persistent about what you want when people can tell you no. Like, I think the biggest blow for me was, it was a lawyer, actually, 6-figure lawyer, right? They came to me. I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to say gender or anything like that. But they came to me and said, Paden, your socks won't sell. You need to think about your price point. I can go to TJ Maxx and get a 6 pair of socks for $5 to $10. I sell one for $20. Big difference, right? You need to take a look at your competitors around you, and you need to assess your company. I'm like, all right, I hear you. My socks will sell. I know they will. And here I am, 2.5 years later in business, selling my socks at $20 per pair. And it's
a
people
premium.
like, it's people like that you're like, okay, watch. And they always come back, and that's the best part. So
Yeah, most definitely. Hey man, socks. So,
yeah, the
um,
socks. That's right, the socks. But it's crazy, like
these are some good socks. You pay a premium price, but you get what it's worth.
absolutely.
I want to touch on something that you said. She said that you said that you had a
Hmm.
book and you wrote down your goals, over the next year. Um, that's actually what this is for me.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I carry this around with me. I write my ideas, goals, you know, everything in this book as far as like um, success, for myself and what that means for me. Um, to anyone who might be watching this, I just want to say that I know you probably heard it here or there that you need to write things down, write your goals down. I was also one of those people that I heard that and I'm like, it's like okay, I got it in my mind, I got it in my head what I want, I don't need to necessarily like write it down, but it was only until I done it that I understood why, and I'm gonna explain why right now. So when I wrote down my goals and I wrote down like my vision, you know, I was able to first of all not only visually see it, but I was able to construct my pathway. Before, I just had I want to do X, Y, and Z, blah 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 in my mind. But when I wrote it down and I see it on the piece of paper, I began to see the pathway, to my future, to my success, versus just having it all in my mind. Because if you're chasing something, especially if you're chasing something that that you've never done before, or no one in your family has done before, or no one that you know has done before, you're trailblazing.
Hmm.
I'm trailblazing. We're trailblazing. We're creating a path that hasn't been walked yet. And if you're gonna do that, you're gonna need some tools.
For sure.
You're gonna need those tools to write it down and really create a wedge, of the direction in which you're going, only to then narrow it down to a path. So if you haven't written down your goals, if you haven't written down, your dreams, your ideas, I would heavily encourage you to do so.
Hmm.
I'm nowhere near where I wanna be yet.
Yet. Heavy on the yet.
Yet,
That's right.
definitely on that yet. But I'm only sitting here right now with this amazing person right here because I wrote things down. I'm still getting there. I'm still creating my operating system, but write your goals down. It'll help. Manifest what you have in your head onto the paper, onto your life, into your life. So just wanted to say that.
Definitely.
So moving on from there. So you have the socks,
Hmm.
and now that you have the socks, and it's like okay, finally this is the pair. This is it.
Hmm.
So where do you go from there? Where did like the I know the name probably came from your last name.
Yep. I'll
Yeah.
explain that for you. I got you.
Yeah. The name came from your last name. Um, so where do you go from there? Okay, I have the sock now. This is what I wanna move forward with. All right, now what?
Yeah, definitely. So let me just a little backstory for those who
Yeah.
don't know. The company is called SickFit. My last name is Sickles, and the slogan is "Life is Sick." So there's a lot of wordplay, and there's a lot of, you know, we use a lot of throw up on the pieces. So it's putting things on clothing that typically don't belong. Um, but to answer your question, where do you go from there? It was okay. What's next? There's no entrepreneur guide that
Mhm. Yeah.
so it's a lot of Google, right? So it was creating the website, and it was like getting people to support you and things like that. When people say they're going to support you, don't believe it. Like, that is my biggest piece of advice, right? People say they're
I'll
going to
take
support,
that.
right?
I'll
They're
take
like, oh, we'll buy it, we'll buy it, we'll buy it, we'll buy it, and then they see your price, you're like, whoa, I'm not going to pay that, right?
that.
And you're like, okay, cool. But that was, I think that was a big thing for me is I'm like, dang, like now I got all these socks, black socks at that. I bought over, I think it was, I tell people this all the time. I dropped a lot of money in black socks. And I bought them at the time and they just weren't selling. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I supposed to do with all these socks? Like this isn't gonna work. Like I'm freaking out, right? Like I don't know what to do. And I'm like, try to say, you know, it's like, well, you want to buy my socks? You know, it's things like that. But it's just being patient and it'll come. You know, strangers will support you harder than some of your friends. And when people say that, people say it all the time, but believe it. I can tell you right now that within my customer base, I would say about 5% are my friends and 95% of them are strangers. And when you think about it, it's really hard and crazy to believe. You know, your friends will support you in the beginning. They'll purchase the first couple, you know, whatever. Not discrediting anybody who's continually supporting me. I definitely appreciate you, and I love my friends that continually support the business. But that's a big learning curve for me. It's like, dang, like I thought we were homies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a big thing of it as well.
Yeah. That price thing is crazy, you know, because, you know, people be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy it, you know, and then they don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they be thinking it's going to be like $3 or something, or like $1.50, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure if it was, they'd buy 10 of them. But, you know, also, I believe in a lot of times when people have businesses and stuff, like whether it be selling socks or, you know, giving a haircut or whatever, you know, a lot of times friends, family, they want the discount.
Definitely.
They want the discount. They want the free.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
definitely.
saying? But you can't get it for the free. If anything, I think that if you're a friend, or me personally, everybody doesn't operate like this, but if you're a friend of mine, you know, and I know you, I'm more inclined to pay full price, you know, because I understand that my money, you know what I'm saying, every cent of my dollars is going straight to you, you know what I'm saying, and I'm investing in you, I'm pouring into you because I support you. You know, if you got a friend and they're trying to start a business, or they have a business, you know what I'm saying, don't be always trying to get everything free. You know, if they
Definitely.
offer you some free stuff, I mean, you know, they're offering. But if they're not, you know, pay the full price.
Definitely.
You know, pay what it costs. Because if you have that business, you know, you want your friends and family to support you, you know, not just leech off of you by asking for free stuff, getting free stuff all the time, you know. Because it's going to come out of your pocket. You know, pay the full price, man. Like it ain't nothing but a little bit of bread that you can get back. You know, that the money that you're spending is not equivalent to the investment that you're making. You know, in your friend, in your you know people.
Definitely.
So stop asking for free stuff.
And I kind of want to touch on what you said. This is your podcast, so you tell me if I need to shut up when I shut up.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I want you to talk.
But I think you bring up a good point about the discounts and things like that. I don't mind it, you know, at the end of the day, like if you continually support me, for sure, I'll look out for you. No worries. Like, you know, but I think one thing that people don't see and what is not talked about is small businesses sometimes try to tear other businesses down. And I don't understand it. You know, I don't mind if you started creating socks tomorrow. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I'm not in competition with you, and you're not my competition. It's a billion-dollar industry, and I can't own it all. You know, like I want a piece of that. And the thing is just like I was kind of telling somebody the other day, is I have somebody that kind of closely watches my business. One of my competitors. I don't mind. I don't care. You know, you're telling me that you have to watch out for me and I'm a threat to you. That's great. I love that. But you're not a threat to me. I promise you that. And the reason I say that is because the leaders in my industry, which is Bombas, Happy Socks, Stance, those people don't know my name yet. Those are my competitors.
Yeah.
And until they know my name, you're not relevant to me. And it's not being cocky. It's not being any of that. But it's just being honest. At the end of the day, I want them to know who my name is. So, like, you know, me fighting for this space with you, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to feed into that. Because that's not who I am. Are you going to collaborate? Absolutely, I'll 100% be down for that. But I'm not going to be your competitor. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that.
Yeah.
It's changing the mindset for me.
Definitely. I was about to say something. And man, I hate when that happens. I was about to say something. I forgot. But I think it was along the lines of the competition thing. Um, how you were saying
Mhm.
that who you said Stance
Mhm.
and
Bum boss.
Bombas and Happy Socks.
Correct.
Happy Socks. I know Stance very well because I used to
Yeah, we
buy
talked
their
about this.
socks.
Yeah, yeah. Now
I
you
used,
wear mine, and you're like, wow, this is really crazy.
yeah, I know. It's really it's such a I love it whenever like you have the business and it's like I it gets to the point where I can actually consume it. Um, man, what was I gonna say? Uh,
I
I
got you
don't know.
stuck on your own podcast. That's crazy.
I know it, man. Oh man. All right, maybe it'll come back to
It's
me.
all good. You're good.
Maybe it'll come back
I
to
threw
me.
you off. See, I told you we shouldn't have went off script.
No, no,
I'm
no.
just saying
You
we're not on the
good?
script. We're
We're
not
not
on the
on
script.
script.
I didn't know these questions ahead of time either. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
no, no. No script. Chill out. Yeah. All right, maybe it'll come back to me. But
Definitely.
so now that you're marketing your socks, what are some of the pitfalls that you have noticed have really come and be like, man, like, is this gonna work?
Um, I think every entrepreneur just needs to be honest with themselves and have that
Mhm.
assessment and self-reflection. There's some days you're just not gonna sell, and there's some weeks that you're just not gonna sell,
Mhm.
and that's okay. How bad do you want it though? Like, um, we'll take my last month for example.
Mhm.
For me, last month I received a lot of press on the business, and typically what happens with press and exposure is sales go up. You're getting more limelight and you're getting more camera time.
Mhm.
But for me, it was the adverse effect and the opposite effect, and my
Mhm.
sales went down. I'm like, what? Come on now, like hold on, that's just not making sense to me.
Mhm.
Why is that? Um, and that was interesting for me. So it's okay. Like it's all good.
Mhm.
People know who you are, and you're building a different network. You have people like you asking me to come on your podcast, and I greatly
Mhm.
appreciate it. And
Mhm.
I'm telling my story to that next person who wants to do this. And
Mhm.
that's what it's about for me, is leaving that legacy. I don't care if I sell one sock today, but guess what? That person heard my story and they know what I'm trying to do. And it's that
Love that.
mentorship and that guidance that I love to give those kids, and that person that
Mhm.
I'm inspiring is what it's for. Um, it's not about the money for me. It's I found a problem, I fixed it, and I want that little kid behind me to look up to me and be like, hey, I want to do the same thing as her. It's taking
Mhm.
people out of the community and bringing them up to show them that nothing wrong with a 9 to 5 or anything like that, but you don't have
Mhm.
to work a 9 to 5. And there's I want you to see the horizon, and that vision that you have. Let me help you get your vision accomplished and achieved. That's what it's about for me. So I technically I don't like to think of anything in business as failures. I think everything's a learning aspect.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think that would be my biggest thing, is just self-reflecting and just being like, hey, it's okay, and just keeping in mind what your end state and what your end goal is, and being true to your values and your core values as a company and yourself. So that'll be my answer for you.
Okay.
About to get
Okay.
emotional, and chills, right?
Hey, it can get emotional. So I think that like that's such a really really hard thing. Like I feel like it's a lot easier said than done.
Definitely.
Because you hear people say, "Oh, keep your head up."
Yeah,
It'll be
yeah,
okay. It's another day. But like when you're sitting there and you're in the thick of it, it's like, God, dog,
definitely.
dang,
Yeah.
like what am I gonna do? Um, Also, about the inspiration thing, I really love that. That's why I support her so much. From
I
the
love
moment
it.
I met her, like I knew all this. Without even having a full conversation. I feel like for me at least, it's not very hard for me to pick up on who people are and their tendencies and what kind of person they are.
Hmm.
I can see it, through especially when people are very transparent and very genuine, which is why I wanted to have her on, not to mention her amazing brand, which I have consumed myself. If you have not looked on my Instagram, go on my Instagram and look at the second picture.
Yep.
I I got the shorts on, you
Yep.
know what I'm
Sure do.
saying? And I got the link in there so you can click on my post and go buy the shorts.
Yep.
So stop playing, go buy the shorts. But anyway, I'm an aspiring entrepreneur myself. I don't quite know what it is that um, I want to necessarily like sell or have a business around, you know.
It'll come to you, I promise.
And I believe that it will. But you know, talking to you, looking at you, inspires me a lot. You know, because
Appreciate that.
you're where I want to be. You know, you're going where I want to go, and I'm trying to, you know, really surround myself around people that
Definitely.
are going, you know,
That's
where
right.
I want to go. Because I don't want to, you know, they say you are who you hang around, you know, and the older you get, that reigns more and more true. You know, since I've been out of high school and everything, out of school, my friends seem to have just dwindled, you know, so
Yeah,
much more.
definitely.
It's like people that you was cool with or people that you talked to back then. I mean, y'all know how it goes.
Yeah,
You know how it
definitely.
goes, you know.
And I'll say this is, be okay with when people fall off your ship. Let them. Let them. It's probably for the best. You know,
For sure.
especially during in business and things like that. Um, if that person, you can't bring everybody to the top for one. You can have your circle at the top, but you can't bring everybody. And when I say that is that person falls off for somebody so much greater coming behind. And I say that because it's literally just happened probably about I'd say 36 months ago. And I met somebody incredible and they changed my life. And you know,
Amazing.
what one person can tell you in 60 seconds or 24 hours can literally change your life, and I'm a firm believer of that. And
Amen to
when
that.
that happened for me, it's like, wow, this is true. Like that person is out of my life now because this person came in, and now it's all about, for me, I want to be that poorest person in the room. Recently, I went to like a gathering, and somebody's company was valued at, I want to say it was like $2.6 million. I mean, that's amazing. And just being around like a different audience and a different crowd is just, it's amazing. You get to see just people in your age group just doing what you're doing, and just you're like, wow, my friends are great, you know.
That
So,
is
just definitely yeah, be that fly on the wall. Sometimes you don't gotta say anything, just be there.
That's amazing. I also want to be the poorest person in the room.
Definitely.
I want to surround myself.
Not saying I was the poorest, but yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you get it.
yeah, you get it.
You know, I want to be in a room of people that, you know, have, you know, what I want. You know, have more than me, so that they can teach me something. You know, everybody knows that one dude that ain't got nothing. He just be talking, you know. He be trying to tell you stuff, but it's
Yeah.
like, bro, you don't even know what you doing. Like,
It's usually
what?
the ones that talk the most that just
Yeah,
don't,
they
you
be
know.
talking
It's
the
just all
most.
talk,
Like,
right?
God,
You know?
dog. Like, bro, like, all right, dude. But about the friend thing, so I've lost, you know, a good amount of friends. You know, I've never really had that many to begin with. You know, I've always been by myself.
Right.
You know, kind of alone. But recently, over the past year, my life has been just all over the place. Over the past year, I've been over here, over there. You know,
It's okay because that book keeps you grounded.
It really does. Get
Mine's not that big, but yeah.
get you a book. Not seriously. Maybe not this one, but as long as you got one, this is mine. Um, God has blessed me with new friends. You know, friends that not only lift me up but encourage me and support what I'm doing. Shout out to two dudes that I met this year, actually three. Jakeem, Jashawn, and Naeem. You know who you are. I
Hey, I know them.
appreciate all three of y'all. Met them this year. Went to Miami with them, which is where I met Miss Paden.
Yep.
We all met in Miami.
Dope people for real.
Yeah. They were actually Keem and Ja. I shot my first episode with them, and how it happened was we were just we got off work, and I came up there. We're all in our uniforms still, and he was just telling me. Keem was just telling me about some stuff. He was like, "Man, like I'm just going through this and blah blah. I'm just feeling this way and this way." And I told him I was like, "You want to shoot an episode? You want to record? You want to do a podcast about it?" And then he was like, "Yeah." So then I was like, "Bet." So I went up there. I grabbed my phone. I had that thing already. Had my little camera stand already, and we just set it up and just was going.
Ran with it.
Just ran with it.
Good.
Yeah, and I love that episode. I will always love that episode. It was the first one. It did pretty well, and it just I don't know. I just love it. But the moral of the story is they encouraged, and they are empowered. That's the word I was looking for. Not only that, I love hanging around these individuals because we're all doing something. We're all focused on something.
Yep.
I'm focused on this podcast, my getting into my speaking career. They're doing the music thing. Ja, he does the drawing thing, the design.
He still owes me some stuff, by the way.
I know you looking at this.
Yeah.
You better get it. But like we're all like moving towards something,
Definitely.
and I love it. I love that I'm around people that are just in motion. I feel like I've been stagnant for so long that.
And it takes those people, like I said, those random people that you meet that bring you out of that funk.
For real.
And continue to like, bro, what are you doing? Police you up. Like, why? What's up? Like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like,
yeah.
What are you doing? Like,
yeah, for real.
You just gotta be have that honest friend or that honest network, and that accountability group chat or whatever you do, that Zoom call weekly or whatever. But
yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Keep me in check. I keep them in check too. It's amazing. So, back to the business. All right. So I know some people when they have businesses, some people they'll have like a restaurant or a franchise, and they'll keep it local. Some people just, want to be, in the area, in the region. What is like, how big are we talking? Are we trying to be the number one sock?
You heard him say it.
The number one sock
will be the global leader in the sock industry.
You heard it here first. You heard it first right here.
We're getting there, and we're working on some things, right? But it's time, and just continue to water that baby like you water the plant.
Mm-hmm.
It's continually networking and continually going to those events and things like that. But yes, global. We're actually global already. We are currently in 26 different countries, purchased that is. And I kind of had mentioned this a while ago to somebody, is we had a new market, and it was in Albania, which is very interesting for me because I've never used any hashtags, never promoted there, never bought anything there. But in Albania. And when you think about it, it's pretty crazy. It was pretty dope at the same time.
I don't even know where that is.
Right?
I don't even know where that is.
But yeah, definitely. But what I will say, though, is what I've noticed, too, is, and this is why I'm so grateful for my team, Holland and Knight, the lawyers, is with that comes a lot of, like, fake bootleg products and things like that. So what we're realizing is people like to put, the SF logo that we use on their socks and things like that, or kind of try to take our designs and.
What do you do about that?
About to tell you. So that's why it's really good to have a good relationship with the USPTO, which is, your copywriting, your trademarks, your patents, just having all your checks and balances in a row. Just because, like, at the end of the day, like, that's a lawsuit. You're using my logo on your products, and that's not my quality. So it's kind of preventing those bootleg products and things from coming out. So just having a good law team and just having that organization that'll have your back and fight those battles for you.
And this right here, this your logo is patented, right?
That's trademark.
Or
Yes.
trademark. Sorry. Excuse me.
Well, patented would be like our SF here on the that we actually use on a sock.
Oh, okay.
And then like for this one, this design, these two right here, they're copyrighted. So if I see that anywhere on anybody's shirt, then I know like that's my design and you can't use it. So I will sue you for using my designs.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. How long did it take you to get that?
Trademark is very, very, very slow. I think it took about almost a year, about a year. And then copyright, they're fairly quick. It's about 3 to 6 months, depending on how fast they move. Patent is very, very slow, but it's all time consuming. Just do it and protect yourself. For sure.
Okay. So, are you a one-woman show, or do you have like a team that,
Yes.
like a group of people that does it?
Great question. So I have a team, and I rely upon them heavily. So my assistant, Maya Moore, my consultant, Monique Gibson. I have like a publicist and a writer, Christy Alderson.
Okay.
I have the law team, Holland and Knight. I have a great network as well with Second Service Foundation. I have 20 military affiliated brand ambassadors. They're phenomenal. They keep spreading the word for me.
Okay.
And then I have my CFO or like our CPA, and then I have a lot of mentors. So yes, it doesn't. If you think you're gonna do this alone, let me tell you right now, you're not.
I don't want to do it alone.
You just
right now I am. This is all me. This is only the 4th episode, but I try to make sure that, because I do it by myself. Like I do the recording, the editing,
sure.
everything. I try to make sure that I'm getting better every.
And that's exactly what you have to do. Is
every
continually get better with every episode you drop, product you drop. Take a prime example. What's funny is I look back now at my packaging. I'm like, dang, Paden, like you came a long way. Like actually, matter of fact, I have some of it here, right? Like our poly mailers, like it just had like a simple SF on there, and that was it. Like, but I mean, like we're like, like that's pretty.
That's the package it like.
Yeah, like that's the ship it out. You get this in the mail, and it's just branding has intensified. The way we shoot our socks, you can see with the bag, that's ours. Everybody knows once you see that bag, that's us. That black.
Yeah, most definitely. I love that logo. I ain't gonna lie, I love
simple,
that logo.
That simple black, that's us. Just things like that continually, prime example. Another one is adding tags or adding. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I really like this logo. Just so y'all can see that a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you just
But so who designed that? It was you or?
So I do have a graphic designer, and he's amazing, Jared Helton. He's phenomenal. We actually have a meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
But this one particular one, this Christmas one was based off our leprechaun actually, and you've seen our leprechaun. He's black. For me, it's all about sparking conversations in clothing and socks, whatever that we design. And I want you to say, why is that on the shirt? Why is the throw up on the shirt? And for me, it was being in Savannah at the time. We dropped the leprechaun, and it went crazy. He was black. It had the rainbow in there, so it included.
That was the first thing I noticed. I said, that's a black leprechaun.
A black leprechaun,
there,
right?
Man.
And with that, he had the rainbow, and it showed like the LGBTQ plus I community. And it just went crazy. Like I had people wanting to buy that shirt off me off the street for $250. No lie. I think I made like 100 of them. Sold out within 20 minutes.
Man.
Crazy, right? And I actually here recently had the opportunity to do a piece for the mayor for election night. And he had that leprechaun on him. And we designed that for him. So
that's lit. So are these like are your socks, like your shirts and stuff like that, are they like limited edition where it's like out for a season and then it's like gone?
Yep. So we typically do all of our exclusive drops. Like this Christmas shirt's an exclusive. That piece right there on top's an exclusive one. We keep it at a limited quantity. it makes it exclusive where you're like, dang, I missed out. Ah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's what I want you to feel, you know?
That is, because then if you miss out, then it's like, all right, well, let me pay attention to what's coming out next.
Yep, exactly.
You know,
I
so
want you to
can
miss
watch.
it. Exactly.
That's lit. That's what's up.
So I'm giving y'all hints, actually. This is one of our next drops, is this.
I ain't gonna lie.
This hoodie
I might
won.
have to cop that. I love hoodies. Like, I don't have enough of them. I probably got like 5 or 6 of them just in my suitcase right now. But I love me some hoodies. But man, that's what's up. So after
I keep getting him on his own podcast. Y'all see that?
I know, this is the second time.
Second time.
Second time.
I make him nervous.
No.
Kidding.
Maybe a little bit. But man, I forgot what I was gonna say again. I promise it's not gonna happen in the future. I'm just
He's showing that he's human, and that's okay. Like, we're all
okay. All right,
like,
cool.
Don't listen to him right now.
I'm glad you said
we're
that.
We're human. This is not scripted. Like, it's okay.
It's
Things
not
happen.
at all.
Like,
I'm
you know,
like,
like, it's all good. You know.
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, dang.
It
Oh,
just shows
man.
you're human. Like,
My mind just goes blank.
What's
like,
crazy though is, like,
twice.
you know, even when you post videos like this, you're like, oh, it was a blooper or whatever. People love that. People eat it up. I'm trying to tell you. Like, I made this one video, no lie. I was like, I laughed. I was like, I don't know what to do. And it's probably my most crazy video on TikTok. I was like, I laughed. Literally, that was it.
You post on TikTok too?
Yeah.
Okay.
TikTok, I just feel like for TikTok, it's a hard platform to grow. And it's a lot.
Oh, man. So, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry for all the TikTok lovers out there. I hate TikTok. I hate it so much. My boys, they told me, you know, my cousin, he does a lot of TikTok videos. Shout out to Nick. He was telling me, him and my boy Dez, shout out to Dez as well. They were telling me, like, man, like, you gotta, like, post on TikTok. I was like, bro, I hate TikTok. And then I was like, well, I mean, you want to grow? I'm like, okay, well, I've been trying to figure out.
We're on camera, right? So this is my challenge to you. He can't renege because he's on camera.
Okay.
So my challenge to you is for 1 week. 1 week, post 3 times a day on TikTok.
Ooh.
1 week.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually do that. Like,
yeah, I challenge you. You don't have a choice now.
I'm gonna put my TikTok in the bio. There's nothing on it right now, so that's probably why you've never heard me talk about it. But you're gonna hear me talk about it now. I'm gonna put my TikTok in the bio 3 times a day. That's
breakfast,
doable.
lunch, dinner. You know.
Yeah,
that's back to back to back.
That's definitely doable. So I'll be posting clips from this podcast and previous episodes on there as well. 3 times a day, boom, boom, boom. I actually found this really good program online that allows me to. You probably know about it. It's like a AI, but it like yeah, it chops up your videos. So I've been using that, but TikTok,
loading.
we got to come in there. I hate it, but you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Definitely.
Yeah. 3 times. I really like. Sometimes, like, I don't know, I get nervous. My mind just, I'll have like I have this pathway, because none of this is scripted, but I have like this pathway. All right, well, I did want to ask this, I want to ask that, I want to ask this, and that's why I haven't been looking at my book, because I don't need it. But
y'all hear that? That was cocky. I'm just playing.
No. It was a little cocky. It was a little cocky. I try not to sit here and, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, I get that. I respect that.
But yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up right there. In the bio.
You wrapping it up or wrapping this up?
Yeah, we are about to wrap it up.
All right. So I just want to say one thing. So first and foremost, please shop. Please check us out. Spread the word. Even if you don't shop, just, you know, tag us, share it to a friend that might like it. And then As always, with the SickFit culture, life is sick. But thank you, Friday, for bringing me onto the show. I have something for you. I just want to say thank you for telling my story and just bringing me on here. You know, the biggest thing is you always got to invest in your friends, and you got to believe in them, and just have that support system that kind of wants to see you win. And like you said, we all start somewhere, and I have something for you. So definitely thank you for telling my story, but I want to invest back in you and kind of show you that you can do this, and I believe in you. And keep going.
Thank you.
You're going to be in Germany soon, and you have nothing to do but focus on your podcast.
Honestly, yeah. Listen, look, I've been thinking really hard over the next couple months, or no, over the past like month and a half of what I'm going to do.
So this is for you. You said that you are not currently using a camera and you want to create more content.
Don't.
So yeah, here it is. This is yours. I want to gift you with that, and I want you to go be great and do great things.
Oh my God, man. How do you use this? How do you?
I got you.
We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you. Make sure you go to her website. It's going to be in the bio. Get you some merch, some socks. Is this still out?
Yeah.
These
Both of those are still out.
It's Christmas time. Make sure y'all go pick up these two. Boom. Get you some socks. Show some love, show some support to this amazing human being right here.
Thank you.
And I'm your host, Friday, a.k.a. 1K, a.k.a. The Visionary. And we out, bro. All right, cool. All right, and it's still recording. Perfect.